Have you guys been watching Ready to Love season 4 the entire time? Well, if so, you watched the season finale last time, and if you want to see what's been going on with the cast and crew since the show ended, then you're in the right place. We're getting ready to talk all things Ready to Love, the reunion. Stay tuned. Hi there, Simply Subbies. It's your girl, Stacy. I am actually on location. I just arrived today in Orlando, Florida. It is the reunion for Ready to Love. It's airing tonight at 9 p.m. and I am getting ready. We're going to be actually watching it and filming it the exact same day. Normally, I film it the next day. I've checked into my condo and I am ready to relax and get into this show. I have been watching everybody's lives. I have been watching their interviews, their YouTube channels, all this stuff. So I feel like I have bits and pieces of the tea, but I cannot wait to get into the nitty gritty of it. Because if you know, what happens on this show has nothing on what happens after the show has finished filming and wrapping. And when I tell you, I have been seeing a little bit of tension going back and forth. The previews are showing Kyra standing up over Alexis. We know that Kyra and AJ decided not to stay together, but I just watched their live last night, or the night before they did a live. They were out together and they're like, oh, watch the show, but I think they're together. Not sure. I also watched the Ages and Sages podcast with Rashid and Simone Redwine from the previous season 3, and her and Kyra are really close. Simone and Kyra are, and she's been making little, comments that like, well, I thought Kyra picked AJ because he been around, he been in her house and all this stuff. So all of that is tea that I cannot wait for. I heard a rumor that Alexis showed up with Ron, and yeah, I know on the previous seasons, there was a whole little switcheroo with Tandy and Reva and the guy they were dating that episode. So, and I think that was not 3, but season 2 of Ready to Love. And then even with season 3, Rashid did not end up sticking around. He was not chosen, but I think him and Simone are together now. So you just never know what little bits and pieces. Plus, I think Jason still kind of got some explaining to do for sending Kyra a message, but now he's all over social media each and every day, thanking his lucky stars for Liz, honey. And I think he likes her and all, but I think it's a little bit overt and extra. So anyway, we about to get into this, guys. I cannot wait to see how this turns out. Let me know in the comments below, what are your predictions? What do you think is going to happen? Either way, we're about to find out.
This season on Ready to Love, we took things back to my hometown of Houston, Texas, where everything is bigger, including the love.
You are so special.
Oh! Ciao.
20 attractive single men and women came together in search of something special. Hey, about time!
Okay, so this kid's like changed the game.
And this time I was throwing out curveballs to see who would hit a home run. I'm sorry, go ahead. And who would strike out.
Because of those disingenuous moments, you're not ready to love.
Each week, the power to eliminate shifted back and forth between the women and the men.
I just thought you was smarter and a little better than that.
I feel bamboozled.
And over 10 weeks, we saw which hearts were open and which ones just weren't ready.
I wish you the best.
Okay. No, Dave.
Hey, no problem.
The fact that you cannot, this shows that you're not ready to love.
Regardless of the outcome, they all
Okay, outfits, man.
I got drip to sell.
That's the money over here.
Came right for this reunion, guys.
We're going to get down to the nitty-gritty about the romance, the drama, the breakups, and the makeups. And we'll find out exactly where our final 4 couples stand now. Coming up on the Ready to Love Houston Reunion Special.
Girl, Chrysanthemum with another cat suit. She love her cat suit now. I promise you that now. Okay. Vernicia has on this sequence high, I don't want to say high-low, but like it's high and kind of, or a split maybe. Green dress.
Houston Reunion Special. I'm your host.
They looking cute
Tommy
out there
Miles. I'm
now.
joined by our amazing singles, who are here to look back at our emotional season that saw plenty of curveballs thrown their way. Tonight, we're talking about the romance and drama that played out in front of the cameras, as well as what happened when the cameras weren't rolling. What's up, beautiful people? Okay. All sexed up. Yeah. Here they are, our final four couples. You got Joelle and Bernice, KG and Amber, Liz and Jason, Kyra and AJ. Got that glow going on.
AJ got this bow tie on. It ain't tied up or nothing. It just hanging. What the heck is that?
To do this experience. Liz and Jason.
Kyra looking super cute. That blue is cute on Liz.
Jason.
I'm not a fan of Bernicia's sequence green dress though.
Or getting the same results. So I was like, you know what? Let me enter into a different situation, and it worked for me.
All right. Now, we got a lot of juicy details we're diving into tonight, so make sure you're joining the conversation using hashtag Ready to Love. All right? Let's get to it. As y'all know, this season was about curveballs, and we threw more of them than the Houston Astros without cheating, of course. The first was the turn of Mr. Quiet Storm himself, my man, K.G. Let's take a look back at what your journey with us was all about, including never-seen-before moments. Check this out. For the first time in Ready to Love history,
Wow.
I've decided to give this brother a second chance. Chris! What made you come back to this process?
Well, when you asked me to come back, I was like, you know what? Yeah, let me give this another go round. And I'm going in with the intention to find my queen.
What was it about Amber, though, that made you feel like you made the right connection?
It was the brunch.
I hate Amber's
Brunch
outfit.
Day two, wasn't it?
Well, brunch was day two. So, but that conversation, she definitely stood out. But I still, went into it like,
Is
yo,
it a
I'm going to
snake?
date as many of these women as I possibly can to get to know, because I
She's
did
doing a lot.
something.
Whatever
Like,
she
I
got
did
going
the
on
same
is doing
way.
a lot.
Right.
Her hair is
Same way.
cute. Her makeup is cute.
Yeah.
The dress.
But I found what I was looking for.
Amber, what surprised you?
We had a very just genuine connection. I don't have any insecurities about what is said from his mouth. He's just a very genuine, caring person, so it really stood out a lot.
How are things between y'all right now?
Amazing, great. I mean, we dating. We dating. That's out the other night. We talk every day, text.
Tell me why it's working.
Communication.
Yeah.
Communication. And we got that from you and Jack.
One of our couples is still together. Chris and Amber.
I ain't come through this process twice to walk away with nothing.
Aww.
Okay.
They're dating
Now, there's one
currently. They
lady
said it's
who
going
left quite the
great.
impression on the fellas because at one point, a whole gang of them had her at their number one.
Oh, child.
Look at the
Kyra.
undeniable Miss Kyra.
Kyra's so cute on
If
here.
this process ended right now,
Don't do us like
who is
that.
the one you're going home with?
It be Kyle.
Jason?
Kyle.
Joel?
Kyle.
One woman, Dave.
We all going home with Kyle.
Wow. We almost had to change the name of the show to Ready to Love Kyra.
Ah, ready to love Kyra.
Kyra,
Yes. Dog, I'm in the
how
house.
does it feel? Be pursued by all these men?
In this setting, it was a little uncomfortable, mainly because it put a lot of targets on my back.
When you say target, who do you mean?
To be honest, I feel like that kind of was a breakdown in Jason and I's relationship. I also feel like I had targets from the other women looking at me like, well, what you doing? What are your motives and things
You
like
playing
that.
chess and Monopoly, right?
Yeah, you know. That's
Alexis, fly.
And I ask certain questions to get what I want.
Alexis, did you have a problem with Miss Kyra and how she walked this journey?
I feel like I was kind of being told one thing, and then I would hear other things, and I felt like I was being played. When we're all questioning this 4 out of 6 thing, and how did all of these men shift, to Kyra?
They question them, don't question me.
Hold on, let me finish.
Mm-hmm.
It was
That's
stated
right.
that you may not have really been here for love, but it was really about getting to the end.
Can we honestly say, though, that the majority, I'm assuming, came here for love? But not everybody came here to make friends.
Correct.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
but I will say this before I go to this break. Y'all wouldn't know nothing about this shift if somebody in my lounge didn't say something
talk.
about this shit.
Yeah, because they wasn't supposed to know.
It's time for us to take a break. When we return, we're going to hear from a couple of guys whose journey ended sooner than they expected. We'll see you right after this.
Was the person that every time it was some mess, it was always coming from him.
Yeah.
So that's funny. And I was like, yo, I'm tired of hearing about his name and the mess of stuff. Ryan had to talk to me before the show. I don't like Ryan. So I don't have nothing for him.
This
So
is
if you have to
Kyra.
say these voices out of here, you know, play. So don't do that.
Look, we good. We're gonna conduct ourselves as such.
Absolutely.
These men out here, they out for it. To be honest.
Okay, guys, I had to pause real quick because they started showing like the green room or the break room. Even though they went on commercial break, the ladies were chatting, and basically they showed that scene where it looked like Kyra was standing up because she was frustrated with Alexis, but it came out like she was like, no, it was Ron. So let's back up. So we're going to back up to the beginning of this whole sit down situation. They go through everybody's journeys. We see them all on screen. The first couple they talk about is Chris, because Chris came back from season 3. He's now on season 4. Him and Amber hooked it up at the end, and they're still together, which is so amazing. They were one of my top couples really, really, really early on. And then they get on Kyra, and Kyra's put in the hot seat because there were 4 guys out of the 6 guys left who decided to pick her one day. And Alexis has so much to say about it, like, well, what is Kyra doing and all this stuff, and Kyra ain't here, she playing games or whatever the case may be. So Tommy gave Alexis Fly the floor, like, hey, Alexis, go ahead and say what you got to say. And basically she was like, you know, some people were saying that maybe Kyra wasn't here for love, but she was just here to make it to the end. There were some things that I was hearing, and then I would hear something else, you know, stuff like that. Kyra was like, well, don't take that up with me, take it up with the guys if that's what happened. So that was pretty much squashed, and that's it. Neither here nor there. But what Tommy said at the end was like, yeah, well, honestly, none of you ladies should have even known that happened, and all 4 of them picked Kyra unless somebody in my lounge was talking. Hello, somebody in the lounge was talking, and we know who it was because we know for sure that Ron told Amber that Joelle picked Kyra. So I'm sure he told her about all of them. She only mentioned the Joelle situation. She didn't mention it that the rest of the guys picked Kyra too. She only was talking to Vernisha and them in that moment that we saw that was actually filmed. So when the ladies leave, they break for a commercial break. Tommy is like, we're going to talk about the guys who went home early. The ladies are still talking, and Kyra is super annoyed because of Tommy's last comment. Like, if it wasn't for somebody in here, you wouldn't know that they picked you. So she's talking to Alexis, and basically she's saying, I don't like Ron. Ron tried to talk to me before I came on this show. I don't like him. I won't give him no place. So he started talking. He's the reason that we have all this drama. Vernisha is like, ladies, let's just keep it classes, because all the men out there basically full of crap. So yeah, guys, that's where we are.
Today, Tressa wasn't able to join us.
Oh,
but
Tressa didn't
sent
make
a lot of
it.
special message. Let's take a look.
Hey, Radio Love family.
Oh, she looks
Nephew
cute.
Tommy, Team Tressa, all the wonderful fans are ready to love. Look, I won't be able to make our reunion today because I got a positive COVID test. So I got to stay home, quarantine for 14 days to keep y'all all safe. But I want to say this. I think we all met for a reason. I've made some lifelong friends. I know you all have too as well. And one thing that I learned about this journey is to date differently. Determine who's the best man for me. They ain't gonna get no cookie though. But yeah, me and my wonderful personality, we still single.
We still
single. And guess
single.
what? Still ready to love.
Oh, Tressa, she
We
looks
miss you,
cute.
Tressa.
Oh,
All right,
she got a
let's move
positive
on.
test.
Kristen and Khalil was ready to swing for the fences in a search for love, but unfortunately, they became victims of our second curveball of the season, a double elimination on day
On
one.
day
Let's take a
number
look
one.
on how they struck out her.
A sweet little chocolate little cup, but he is very timid.
My name is Khalil. I have gotten into relationships that have sometimes been toxic.
So what is your flaw in the relationship?
Mean girls.
No, your flaw.
Your flaw.
Mean girls.
No. I mean, the guys are coming full throttle, and then you look at Khalil, I'm like, no. What is a character trait in you that is flawed that you can work on?
Mean girls.
He keeps saying mean girls.
Khalil,
Ooh, the mean girls
Sorry.
heard around the
What?
world,
What
child.
do you think you did wrong?
Mean Girls. I probably should have worn what I wore, man. I probably should have did that.
Because you fly tonight.
Yeah, his outfit look way better than he did on day number 1.
I can clean up every now and then. You know what I'm saying?
Christian.
What's up, man? What's going down?
How did you feel being eliminated the first day? I mean, what was going through your mind?
My initial thought was that I wasn't going on. I didn't know y'all was going to do the double-headed monster.
Once Khalil
Once
got
Khalil was gone, I was like, I'm straight.
You started relaxing.
And looking at everybody else talk, but that's why I got comfortable. And that was my fault. I should never got comfortable.
Have you taken any of Kyra and Stacey's advice, since you left?
Yeah, I have. I've been on a few dates.
Okay, Christian.
Can I say? Yeah, I have. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I've been talking to somebody on the show, kind of.
Oh, on the show.
The show kind of sort of.
Andrew.
Andrea.
My guy.
Y'all been talking?
Yes, we're communicating.
Yeah.
Like you said, we haven't been on a date, but
They've been communicating. Him and Andrea, the flight attendant. Christian was the, I feel like, mailman / model.
Andrea, it is possible. Can we have a conversation a little bit later? Because I'm very interested in taking you out.
Aw, that's so cute. Please say yes. She said yes. So she said they've been communicating. They haven't been on a date. Stacey and Curtis is Christian. Right now, let's do it. He stands up and asks her if they can talk later about him being interested in taking her on a date. She said
Man.
Who was that?
Oh, man. We're talking, we and I talk quite a bit.
oh, and Kalia and Ida.
I didn't know, we didn't discuss this, that we were going public today.
Okay, now what we say? Is there something to go public about?
Well, I thought since we've been on quite a few dates.
Well, y'all been on quite a few dates.
Oh, what?
Okay.
I said, hey, do you mind if I tell them that you talked to him? He was like, yeah, no. Thank you.
I was trying to wait till the review. That man said,
He did it without my consent.
Well,
I
I'm
did
sorry,
not
take
do
it
that.
back. Can we run it again?
No, we can't run that fast.
Oh,
I want to say that.
Please tell them what you told me.
Well,
Ida's calling him on the
Mean
park.
Girls. Can I say that? Can I get that?
Oh, now he calling Ida mean girl.
I'm not winning, man.
Okay.
I'm not winning.
Khalil,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to give you one more chance
Yeah.
to say something nice about this beautiful lady.
Ida is a wonderful woman. She's very nice, very sweet, beautiful, very intelligent. She's amazing to hang out with, fun to be around all the time.
Okay, fellas, I wish you all the best luck moving forward.
Right, Tommy. Don't touch it.
Coming up.
Okay, so they went with the first two guys who were both eliminated on day number 1. First, it was Khalil, who was the teacher, and then Christian, who was the mailman photographer. Everybody said he was too timid, too meek. He needed to express himself more. Stacey and Kyra tried to give him some advice, and so Tommy asked, "Have they been talking to anybody? Have they been dating?" And so started with Christian. Christian said, "Yes, I've been dating Andrea." Or Andrea, I think that's her name. And she is the flight attendant who went home. She loved her cats, I believe. She just always talked about her cats. But they are apparently, they're apparently talking, she says, but they have not been on a date. So Stacey well, ask her out. Here she go giving him advice again. So he stands up and says, Andrea, I've enjoyed talking to you. I want to know if we can have a conversation later because I'm very interested in taking you on a date. And she said, yeah. So she's into it. So I like it. That sounds good because they were all gone pretty early. Next up was Khalil. So he was the teacher that was eliminated. His outfit was atrocious. I don't know what happened. Somebody said, you need to put on the blazer. He just put on his sport coat. It wasn't really the vibe. But right now he looks nice. His beard is really nice and trimmed. He actually looks nice. He looks like a good-looking man on this one. I'm not saying he didn't on the first one. He just wasn't all working together for his good. So anyway, they asked if he was talking to somebody. He said he been trying to talk to somebody from the show too. He been dating somebody. He says, Ida. So Ida stops and be like, oh, we didn't discuss this. We didn't discuss that we was going public today. Oh, and then she said, when I asked him, can I tell somebody? He told me no. So it's a little bit of trouble in paradise, honey. He looking all kinds of confused. So nephew Tommy talking about, Well, you might want to say something nice about this beautiful lady back here because it seems like there's a little bit of tension going on. He said, well, I was just trying to wait till the reunion. Is that a problem? But so it must have been something else. She said, well, you tell them what you said. He didn't go into what he said, but it must be something. Although he had all these flowery, beautiful things to say about her, how beautiful she, how nice she is, what a great woman she is, and how nice it is to go on dates with her. It's a little bit of trouble in paradise, ain't it? So I don't know if they're going to continue to be talking after the show is over, but we will see. Talking about Ron, guys.
What's your name?
Chris.
Ron.
Ryan.
Ron, R-O-N.
Ron.
Yes.
John. Ron was cute at the mixer, but on the date, I was like, yes, here we go.
You were my top one.
That first day?
First day and second day, I put you
situation
in my top.
Do you think that she's interested in you for the right reason?
I think if it is genuine, then she will open up. If it ain't, then she's gonna be surface level like she is now, you know?
When I look at you, I get that priestly king vibe, like somebody that can totally take charge and I can follow, and I'm not concerned about what path you're gonna lead me to.
Lead you to happiness.
And Lex is shaking her head like, I don't know what I saw in him.
So are you on this whole, I'm just picking her, or I'm saying she the one because what she could offer me, you know what I'm saying? You know, hey, I'm just saying.
She can't offer me anything.
Hold on now. I don't even know if you hear yourself when you're saying it. The way that you perceive yourself, it comes off like real condescending. That's the only word I have. The ladies, as well as I, decided at this time that you are not ready to love.
I just thought you was smarter and a little better than that.
That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
That might have been condescending, but
it was.
But I'm not gonna be with anybody who talks to you like you just spoke to me.
Ron, that's not how you talk to a lady.
That was about
Amen.
AJ. So that was like saying, I've seen this guy treat you badly, and he turns it on a week before elimination, and you just now all of a sudden is with it. I would say I thought you were smarter than that to not notice that.
Well, see, I'm just hearing, when it's the process of you being eliminated, I'm hearing, I thought you were smarter than that.
How you're hearing it, Nephew Tommy, is exactly how I heard it, how I perceived it, and how I received it. And that's why I kept
You weren't
saying,
talking about AJ, Alexis?
can I please talk?
Let me say this. 4 seasons, okay? I have not had a man talk to a lady like this. There is a respect level and a respect line that we have to have as men, period. Especially with our women, especially with our black women. If it's not for you, I get it. But if this one is not for you, there is 30 different ways to talk to this woman and you guys agree to disagree. But with the kind of language that I'm hearing, that's when it's disrespectful and that's when an apology is necessary, bro.
Definitely. I would say for that conversation getting out of hand, I'll take accountability for my part. Like I said, it was supposed to be a peaceful, quick conversation. I felt that was kept getting jabbed over my religion.
But when did I jab you? How did I jab you? I didn't jab you.
I think it was some accountability on both parts, but I can only accept mine. And you understand, me and Alexis were in each other's bottom the first 2 places. We came out of nowhere.
But we watched you tell Chrysanthemum that she was your top.
I said top 1, but I said brunch the first 2 days.
Chrysanthemum, are you buying any of this?
No.
Talk to me.
It's just, I don't know, it didn't make sense. The stuff that he was doing, I'm just like, how are you picking somebody else over me, but you're doing all this other stuff? Like, I met your mom. Like, what are you doing?
She met your mom?
Yes.
Okay, so question.
Sure.
Did you meet her mom?
Ron's mom.
No, that's why I'm asking this question.
Alexis
because at that
did
point,
not.
I know we were supposedly locked in, so how is it that she met your mother and I didn't?
I invited her because where we were at, she lives real close. I knew that she'd have a good connection with my mother.
When you take a woman to meet your family, then that comes off as you're serious about her. And to do her like that, that's wrong, and I'm not even okay
Like
with
I
that.
said, it wasn't like that. Like I said, it was...
What you mean it's not like that because she took it like that?
Okay, well...
Chris, I'm sorry that happened to you.
All right. Ron dropped a bomb in his elimination that set off shockwaves, even after he was gone. Let's take a look at one of this season's wildest moments. Here we go.
I went on a date yesterday. I kissed Amber yesterday. At that point, I was done anyway.
It's about to go down. Have a blessed night.
You too, girl.
I'm gonna continue to date Amber. I know that she's still talking to KG, but I think I went out that one.
It was the most disrespectful conversation I've had in a very long time.
Are you serious?
And then he began to deliver to me that, well, just so you know, I went on a date with Amber.
Judas.
Not only did I go on a date with Amber, by the way, I kissed her.
But let me explain.
So now I'm looking at you like a Judas.
The plot just thickens.
Child. All I can do is laugh.
So now you throwing Jay.
Exactly.
Yeah, you were.
Here's the thing. She didn't tell me that she kissed AJ. I knew how that felt. And I've always had a connection with Amber. She's always in my top 3. We've been on many dates.
Many dates?
A couple of dates.
No, we haven't.
We had one.
How you go from many to one?
Many to one. Come on, Ron.
Process. You lied and tell Alexis that we've been planning to date each other after the show, which was a lie. You just sat here and said we went on a couple of dates. Another lie. I mean, we can go now. I'm pretty sure I can talk to each and every person and talk about a lie that you have said. I'm talking about the lies that you just spewed out of your mouth.
I mean, the Amber is calling him out, honey.
Well,
She's
kiss
an
her.
attorney in this moment.
Was you in the midst of her?
We were done.
No.
They were not
So
done.
this is what I'm saying. We had just finished having a 3-hour conversation.
But we were done. It was heat.
What do you think when that conversation was over?
I was still up in the air about it.
Okay.
Because I still had feelings for him. This man never said we are done.
Okay, guys. So now we are on Ron. They're talking about him and all the drama that he has caused because he was actively pursuing Chrysanthemum at one point. And then out of nowhere, Alexis Fly came along. They hadn't really gone on a lot of dates, but they had been talking on the phone every single day. And she really was liking him, really feeling him, you know, calling him her black king and what she see he can lead a woman and all this stuff. And so at some point, the religion thing became an issue, and it sounded to her like he was kind of taking jabs at her as a Christian because they didn't really think the same way. Something to that, you know, effect. And then he gets sent home. During that date, he does say, you know, I thought you was smarter than that. And it was very condescending. She calls him out on it. Now, I did listen to an interview with Ron, or either his one of his lives, and he was saying that in that moment they had a long conversation and they were talking about a lot of things. One of the things he was actually addressing, and they cut and spliced it, was that he was saying, AJ really been playing you for a fool. He only comes around when you have the power and you're about to eliminate him. And then he shows you some attention and some affection. And so I thought you were smarter than that, right? That's the context in which he claims he said it in. Tommy's like, wait, what? That you do not talk to a woman like that. You need to apologize. He's like, I was talking about AJ. And she was like, well, that's not how I took it. I took it how Tommy is saying it. That you were calling, you saying I should have been smarter than that. Now, in his mind, they had a 3-hour conversation and he was done. So he went on a date with Amber. She was always in his top 3. According to Ron, they went on many dates. Amber was like, that's a lie. He was like, 2 dates. She was like, that's a lie. He was like, 1 day. Kyra in the background like, well, how I go from 3 to 1? And Amber is calling him out like, that was a lie. And you did that, sir, that was a lie. You said this, sir, that was a lie. And I'm only talking about, he's like, we didn't have no connection. She's like, that ain't the case. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the 3 lies that you just spewed out your mouth right here in front of everybody. So he's sitting there backpedaling, looking crazy. Amber's not letting him have it. You know she is the district attorney, honey. She is getting with him. So in that day, also, he wanted to take a jab at Alexis, and he said, well, anyway, I went on a date with Amber yesterday, and I kissed her, and in that moment, I knew it was over. Like, basically, I knew it was over with you. What Alexis is saying is, yes, they had a 3-hour conversation. She was still up in the air. She still had feelings for him. She didn't know if they were done, but he never in that conversation said that they were done. So everybody, like, that was a little bit shady, and you were taking jabs, and you were doing stuff on purpose.
We man done wrong, and leave it at that, bro. So what am I supposed to do? I'm gonna keep on. Okay.
Behind the scenes, Ron is talking to Jason saying, Alexis cheated on me with AJ.
Welcome back to the reunion special. Ready to Love isn't just about dating and finding.
And Jason tells him, well, man, at this point, we just gotta admit to what we did wrong and not
we got
keep
to see real
picking
display
it.
of brotherhood as these men supported each other. Take a look.
My guy right here came through for me the other day, man. I was moving out of my apartment, man, and he called me. Yeah, Joel. His brother came, he sweat me, helped me. He's
Hey,
cool
you know
people,
Joe,
dog.
right?
Like, he'll go down for you. Like, you my guy, man.
I already told him, this is my guy, like, hands
My
down.
heart to go, man.
I appreciate, you know, the brotherhood that was developed and created in them. Because, you know, as a black man, brothers don't come together enough. You heard me?
You know, you have your own,
It's all good.
yeah.
It's all good.
So here I have two beautiful women that are trying to get to know me. And you hearing them say all these good things about you. And it's very unfamiliar for me to hear that from people about me.
To get the compliment.
Yeah, so it meant a lot to me. I come from a background where encouragement is scarce. This is something you don't see in America. People inquiring about a brother and, you know, hearing all this good about when that's not promoted.
Men cry.
This
Yeah.
is an emotional day, man.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
That was good.
You know what? I want to applaud all my guys, every last one of y'all on your vulnerability, man.
They
Yes, I
showed
honestly,
clips
truly
of
believe,
Joel
we did
crying when
the Jones
Jason kind of
House.
commended him for
And,
helping him move.
I just think
And then
going
Jason
through
crying
life
when he
going
was
forward,
talking about how
y'all need to
it
create
was nice
your
of
own
his
gentlemen's
friends and the women
lounges
that were
with guys
pursuing
that you
him,
have.
or he was
'Cause
pursuing
we know what it's
to
like
say nice things
every
about
time
him.
we leave our house. Every time we get in the car. Because we don't know what the hell about to happen. We don't know if we get pulled over, what's about to go down. We know. We already set go every single second. So to be able to come together as a brotherhood, man, and unite, take advantage of it so we can say, woosah, here we are, brothers. Let's ride. We ride together. Let me unleash what I got going on. Let me cry. Let me laugh. Let me do this because all we got is each other. So I commend y'all on just being vulnerable, man.
For sure. I'm not a person that cry all the time, but I'm sensitive.
Right.
Because some of them tell the joke.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like I said, if we can't find an old lady, hey man, find brotherhood.
Exactly.
Joel, we can't find an old lady, maybe we can find brothers.
Right.
Talking about many things, you know, whether it's relationships, whether it's, you know, the process, it hit home big time.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. We've seen besties with unique bonds all throughout history. Salt,
Frickin' Frack,
Thelma
it's
Louise,
yours, her.
Gina and Pam, but ain't none of them got nothing on our own Chrysanthemum and Stacy, better known as Frick and Frack. But ladies, I gotta know, what is it
That
about
was
the two of
AJ
y'all
said
that connected like that?
I don't know. We just
Now we starting to say
They
the
sound like
same
twins.
I don't know. We just get each other. We're just the same. It's like
a same understanding of each other.
Now, a lot of the guys felt like that your friendship kind of got in the way of your romantic process. Just whomever was interested in you, they had to almost deal with the other person at the same time. Does that make sense?
no.
Yes and no.
Because how?
From the guy's standpoint, we kind of talked about that early on. When we'll say, man, you call one, she may share your conversation. And we didn't think the conversation was going to be closed off. I saw the friendship forming and I said, yo, I don't even want to put myself in that situation.
But to me, that still sounds like so far-fetched, I guess, for me to conceive, because, like, we've never shared, I've never seen any text from anybody, any guy.
AJ.
I definitely had interest in both of them. And I get that whole game of he called me first. So does that mean he's more interested in me? Look, I would rather have a solo conversation, and I'll leave it at that. When I knew they were together, I said, I'll talk to you when you're by yourself.
This is a tough process, right? I see the double standards of things, you know. I see this bromance. I see y'all having these emotional moments. I see y'all helping each other move, being there for each other. But then when the ladies get together and develop friendships, I mean, you're on there to date. You're competing with each other. Like, how can y'all be friends? Like, sometimes, like, a lot of the ladies here have helped me on my path. You know, she's taught me things in dating that I never expected to know, you know?
Do you think the man may have been intimidated by the friendship?
A little,
A
probably.
little bit? Those are facts. Chrysanthi,
Chris said
what's
it's
going
a
on,
fact.
frickin' Frack? How's y'all love life?
It ain't with each
I
other.
didn't think that. You dating, Stacey, right now?
I'm dating.
You are? Now, has this gentleman that you're dating, has he met Chrysanthi yet?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Chrysanthi,
Stacey's dating.
are you dating?
So it's
Not
great.
one person.
Not one person.
Particular.
Particular. Okay.
Hey guys, so what we just saw was the whole freaking frack Stacey and Chrysanthemum, and basically Tommy ended up asking, do you think that the guys were intimidated by your friendship? And Stacey brought up a good point. Like, the guys can have this brotherhood. We just seen how emotional y'all got. Y'all be helping each other move and all this other stuff. But then when we do it as women, it's frowned upon. It's like a double standard. And what it was is, so I watched one of AJ's interviews, and he said really what it was is he was interested in both with women. And I think a lot of them, because they are so similar, and that's why they're so close as friends, the men liked both of them, but they were always together, so it would be odd to call one and the other one be over there.
Felt like she saw a future with her chocolate drip AJ, but ultimately,
okay, Alexis and AJ and Kyra.
Melted with me right now and know that I'm serious in my pursuit of you. I think that me and you will be in each other's lives for a long time. But I don't know if I can be truly what it is that you see. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Alexis. I'm not ready to like it.
AJ, how you go from kissing Alexis to sending her home? How did that happen?
The same way everybody else was kissing and ultimately made different decisions than what they made.
And that was late in the game, am I right?
Sure.
Okay.
But that was afterwards. I had already kissed Kyra.
Just Kyra, okay.
So, for me, the part, and I know I said the kiss changed the game, it wasn't really necessarily the kiss. It was the words that he said after the kiss. And it was, I'm in pursuit of you. And I had been looking and searching for reassurance.
And that was your confirmation?
I took it as my confirmation, yeah.
So when you say I'm in pursuit of you, what do you mean when you say that?
Man, anybody that I was given any time to, taking out on dates and showing interest in, that was me being in pursuit of you. The connections that I had with every woman that I talked to here on the show was different, and it was genuine. And that's what made this decision so tough.
If you guys spent all this time together, developed this great connection, seems like, why did you ultimately choose to send her home?
Why was she still being there in the space of where Ron was her top choice the whole time?
But when you sent her home, Ron wouldn't even process no more.
Sure. If Ron didn't have that conversation that he had with her and he was a little bit more open, she would have chosen him. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to be like necessarily the rebound.
And I see that she chose you.
After y'all kissed, her whole essence changed toward me.
Ron, since you chimed in, you said that I treated this woman bad. I want to be able to address that. How do you feel like I treated her bad?
Well, I'm going on it was off the camera, and we were all at my house. I was walking Alexis to the car. You stopped her and said, hey, I ain't got no time yet with you.
Sure.
It was about 2 hours later. I walked back, she's still in the room.
He hadn't came?
He never came. And I had to get her up and say, you know, he might not be coming.
Why you didn't go to the room?
I was downstairs talking to the fellas.
She upstairs?
Sure.
But let's get back on track, because you never answered my question. Why did you decide to send Alexis home?
I had with Kyra and where it was that I saw that relationship being able to go. And it was just simply my choice.
All right. AJ was clearly torn between the two ladies. Let's take a look at the other side of that love triangle to switch the focus in the connection with Kyra. How y'all enjoying the day so far?
Are some people that I may have gone on a date with before. I'll play this thing one more time. That's okay.
Which one?
AJ.
AJ, okay.
We went on 2 dates, and the second one did not go that well.
Okay.
Oh!
Yeah, I got a surprise in the room.
I am very hopeful about AJ because I did see a softer side of him, a more intentional side, a more sincere side. This one too?
You giving me a second chance, but not ready to love.
I had a feeling that it was coming.
Do you want to be here with me?
Yes, I do.
I don't want to see you go. I'm here today to continue this journey. What about you?
I don't know if I can say I'm ready to commit to being your girlfriend. I just need more time to reveal to each other who we are.
Alexis, did you know right before he eliminated you
that he had already eliminated Kyra?
And then changed his mind?
I told him.
Oh, really? So he told you?
Maybe it's true, because coming off of that.
It's a blur.
obviously I was very disappointed. My feelings were hurt. I didn't really understand what had happened.
But now that you see it, how do you digest that now?
It shows me that he honestly did have a very hard time making his decision.
What was it in that split moment to change your mind right there and choose Kyra?
It was something you actually said, Tom.
Okay.
You said, you know who's your girl. When you see her walk in the room, you light up.
That's how you made your choice.
That's how I made my choice.
Okay, guys, so we just got to the whole breakdown of Alexis, Fly, Kyra, and AJ. They show both of their love stories, and then they go into how AJ actually flipped the script. He chose Alexis initially. He told Kyra to go home, but then he couldn't let her go. So he changed his mind. He sent Alexis home. She was definitely caught off guard. She said, when they kissed and he said, I'm in pursuit of you, then she really took that to heart. She thought that they had a really strong bond. And what he said is that he was in pursuit of anybody he was giving his time to 100%, because that's what this show is all about. Ron said after the kiss, the things flipped. And he said in his mind, he didn't really want to be like her consolation prize, because although like Ron was her number one from day one until they had that disagreement, and then he was no longer her number one. But he said ultimately what made him choose the difference between Kyra and her is that Tommy said something to him like, you'll know who your girl is when she walk in the room, you light up. And so that made him instantly, change his mind and actually pick Kyra. But the other thing that came out, and this actually came out on one of AJ's interviews, and I guess Ron said something about he was having a gathering in his house with a group from the show, and he was gonna walk Alexis to the car. AJ comes out and say, hey, I haven't had any time with you. So Alexis turns around and does not leave, goes back upstairs. I guess all the fellas go downstairs except for Ron. AJ's down there having a conversation for 2 hours apparently, and then Ron says, I go upstairs and I'm like, oh, he ain't coming up here. And he said he had just got caught up in the moment with the guys. And he basically left her up there because she was waiting to have some conversation, some time with him. And she sat there for 2 hours waiting. And Ron had to be like, he not coming, you have to go home. So I think that's all crazy, because after 20 minutes, she should have either went back down there and said, I thought you wanted some time with me. I got to go home to get to my kid. Or she should have just left. But he said he thought she was up there with all the women. He didn't think that it was just her by herself, and she was only staying to talk to him, which I guess that's what happened. And so it's very unfortunate. But he liked Kyra from the beginning, and Kyra liked him from the beginning. And what changed his mind, honestly, is in that moment he said, do you want to be here with me? And she said yes. And so he was like, well, good, because that's who I really want to be with you.
I'm lost on what makes you decide to choose yourself. What made you do that?
So, when I choose to love a guy, when I tell you I love hard, and with AJ and I, we hadn't spent that much time together. My mind and my heart was focused on Jason. And it wasn't until I saw, like, yo, this is not going to work between the two of us, that I was like, yo, let me open more towards AJ. And so when I got to the end, I felt like, okay, you like him, but have you really gotten to the space where I know who AJ is? I want to know that when I say yes to you, ain't no turning back. So before we make that decision, let's give each other some more time to continue to date, get to know each other, and know
Jason moved his arm around Liz.
There are no questions about it.
Okay, so let me ask this. Y'all left this process.
And we were dating.
Dating?
Yes.
And where are we now? Wow, hush over Jerusalem. Ain't nobody jump into that one.
I'm still in the same space of where I'm willing to date.
Okay. Kyra, where are you?
So when we left the experience, we continued to date. I did have a trip planned before the show to go out of the country for 2 weeks. I literally made an intention every day to talk to AJ.
So y'all did communicate?
Yes.
You did talk the whole time you were on it for 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay.
Every day. And when I get back from my trip, I get a phone call from Alexis. You want to share what you told me?
No, you finish the story.
Okay. I hear that y'all had gone out on a date, and then they had kind of been kicking it a little bit thereafter.
Huh?
Now, AJ did not tell me that they were dating. So let me preface this. At the end of the show, like I said, I left, we weren't talking. So when my birthday came, I DM'd him. And I asked him, I said, AJ, did anything that happened between us, was that real? Did you mean any of it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? He responded back and he was like, Alexis, everything that happened between us was real. I felt how I felt about you. So that brought my walls down with him. He was like, but I would love to take you out on a date for your birthday, just you and I. But it wasn't like, okay. So we went on this date. We kissed, we took selfies and pictures.
Y'all kissed?
Yeah, I have the picture.
Now let's kiss at the same time that him and Kyra together.
Apparently so.
You know, if we're dating, then that's what we're doing. If
Okay.
I was in a committed relationship, then no, that would have been improper.
So your thing is this is not a commitment anywhere. That's what you're...
Exactly.
Because Kyra
If I
did
would've
leave, so
known
there
that-
was no commitment.
That they were supposed to be headed into committed relationship, we would have been kept talking and all that. I would have accepted a romantic date. I wouldn't have done that. It wasn't made clear.
Okay. Let me ask you a question.
Hey, Jay.
You have entertained both these women for a long time. Hold on. Let me ask you, right now, which one of these two ladies are you interested in?
Well, it's not Alexis.
Oh, yeah, I know that. And it's not. We agree. We haven't talked. We don't talk to each other.
Are you interested in Miss Kyra?
He is.
Yes. She was gone, and we ended where we didn't end in a relationship. I took that tough. I did.
I knew that was
And it
gonna
was
happen.
just a thing of where I was battling between the two of them. But I ultimately was willing to make a decision.
And it bothered you that she couldn't reciprocate that and make a decision as well. Well, she
It
made
hurt
a
his
decision.
ego.
She did.
Yeah.
And so she made her decision and then still wanted to hold it on me as though,
We
well, if
stayed
you made your
together.
decision, you should still be right where I left you. That's how I took it.
That's how she did.
Kyra,
Yes.
after hearing all of this, are you interested in continuing to date AJ? Yes or no?
I'll say yes.
Hold on. We are out of time. Y'all got to come back next week for part 2 of the reunion session. I'm your host, and I'm tired. So I'm in my house. Good night.
Damn.
Step.
Okay, guys, so we get back to AJ, Alexis, and Kyra, and Nephew Tommy's trying to get to the bottom of what is going on and what has gone on since the show aired. And although they already discussed, what made him change his mind and what made him pick Kyra, even though Kyra did not pick him, and where are they today? So Kyra and AJ both said they left the show dating one another. Kyra said she already had a 2-week international trip planned, or a 2-week vacation planned, although she did this even before the show. It was already booked before the show even came up, and she made every effort to continue to communicate with AJ during that time. She talked to him every single day, and when she got home, she finds out that, and she found out from Alexis was woman enough to tell her that her and AJ had gone on a date and they were kissing and all that stuff. So Tommy gets on AJ about it, asking him like, what's going on? So I knew this was going to happen. If she would have chose him, I think they could have made it work. They would have got to know each other. They could have been bonding, but they would have been sort of kind of committed leaving the show, but they were not. And I knew that was going to affect AJ's ego. And what he said is Kyra expected him to still be in the place that she left him when she chose not to, but she kind of was putting on him the pressure he believed of, we are together, but she didn't choose him. And he said that was hard for him. He couldn't really, move past that. So he was dating. He's still dating like he was doing on the show, dating basically multiple people, because they're not in a committed relationship, because Kyra didn't choose him. She chose herself. So, of course, that made Kyra feel a way that, okay, AJ, I thought we were working towards something. We were pursuing each other. We were going to continue. He's like, you never chose me. I mean, we still can do that, but I'm still dating. So, apparently, Alexis DM'd AJ on her birthday or around her birthday. Probably, I know I get it every once in a while. You get those moments where you're like, dang, I'm another year older. I'm still single. All this stuff. That's probably where she was coming from, that headspace. She sends him a message and just say, was anything that we had real? Were the conversations, the feelings, any of that, was that real? He told her yes, it was. He told her that, you know, he wanted to take her out on a date, just the two of them. Since it was her birthday, he wanted to do that for her. So she says at the time he did not tell her that he was pursuing dating Kyra, or they were still dating, or any of that stuff. So in her mind, she let her walls down again, and she went on a date with AJ. She said they kissed, they took selfies, they had a good time on this date. Now, she says she no longer talks to AJ, but during that time she did. And so Nephew Tommy asks again, okay, like, listen, both of these women are sitting here. Who do you choose, AJ? And AJ said, it ain't Alexis. I'm like, damn, AJ, you cutthroat, brutal. Like, you just keep on doing her really, really, really dirty, in my opinion. But, so, I really don't know what it is Kyra actually expected when she did not choose AJ, but I do know that his ego was hurt. And so he said, I'm just going to continue to, I'm dating. That's what I'm doing. He's still interested in Kyra, but because she didn't choose him, he doesn't think that that was anything solid to just focus on. He should never have probably went back to Alexis, but that's what he decided to do. And Kyra, of course, heard about it. So now she, you know, she feels away. And so when he said, who do you want to choose? He said, it's not Alexis. And he said, are you still want to date Kyra? He says, yes. So then Tommy asks Kyra the same thing. Do you still want to date AJ? And it's silence. So it's kind of an awkward silence. And Tommy's like, you know what? That's a wrap on this episode this week. We're going to do part 2 of the reunion. You know, hold up. So we do see scenes for next week. And it looks like it's going to be something. Because when we waiting on Kyra's answer all over again. But we also see Kyra and Vernicia discussing something off the stage again, because they're doing a lot of that behind the scenes. And Kyra's, you know, she's emotional. She's talking to Vernicia, and Vernicia is like, man, leave him alone, because then nobody tell him to go pursue something with Alexis, even though you knew, you know, what was going on. I say just leave him alone. And, you know, Kyra is, it just seems like she is tugging at her heartstrings, because she really does like AJ. She probably thought that they were really going to work towards something, but that caught her off guard. She probably can't be mad at him because of where they left things, but at the same time, she does probably feel, you know, like he should have told her. And that's what she said, just keep it a buck. Keep it real with me. Let me know. Don't let me find out from Alexis or somebody else that this is how you moving, and you got me out here looking crazy, whatever. So I don't know if they're gonna make it or not, but like I said, I just saw a live with the two of them, and she was like, me and AJ cool, whether we dating or not, we cool. And they still had such good chemistry. They still had such a good vibe. And so I don't know when the reunion was shot, but maybe they've worked through that since then. I think she's very level-headed, so I think she would understand that the place she put him in didn't actually didn't necessarily make him have to be committed to her. They were not in a commitment. That's what she chose not to do, even though he chose to do so. So she may give him another chance. I hope so. I really liked them together. I think he likes her. I think she likes him. I think his ego was bruised. It was hurt. He knew Alexis was there for him to begin with, and she still was reaching out even after the fact. So he was like, all right, cool. I'm going to go hang out. That's that.